If you need protection, you need one who you can trust. To secure your investment, you need one who'll do you just. TDC Insurance, we're the one that you can trust. TDC Insurance, you're always safe with us. TDC Insurance is your go-to insurance company for all your insurance needs. We take pride in offering you the best solutions and ensuring our customers are fully satisfied. TDC Insurance, we take good care of you, guaranteeing you peace of mind. You're always safe with us.
Feel the magic happening.
Campari.
Taste. Something incredible happens when Campari is mixed just right. Like Campari and orange juice poured over ice. Taste it. Try it tonight. Bitter, sweeter, better. Campari. Must be 18 years and older. Drink responsibly.
Enjoy an elevated experience with your Flow Home Internet and mobile combined.
Giving you the best rate for great savings.
With 120 gigs of double data for anything.
And unlimited talk.
On 4 mobile lines.
Simply combine your Flow Home Internet and mobile for the best rate and value. Unlock double data and unlimited talk on 4 mobile lines to go with home internet speeds up to 35 megabits per second. Visit a Flow store to sign up today. Conditions apply.
Good morning, St. Nevis. It is the start of a new week here. It's Monday, August 15, 2022, and you're tuned in to 1FM 98.9. This is Voices, 5 minutes past the hour of 11, so we're going to get right into the discussion for today. Good morning to those of you who have joined via radio, and of course, those of you following via social media, the various social media platforms, Facebook and YouTube. Thank you so much for joining the conversation. Yes, I'm really happy to be here, and I'm happy that you have been able to join the program today. All right. So on last Saturday, we had the inauguration of the St. Nevis Labour Party administration, where the portfolios were assigned to the different elected representatives, and of course, senators were appointed. This was Saturday, August 13, at the Warner Park Cricket Stadium. Hundreds were in attendance. Of course, other regional leaders were present. Former parliamentarians from the National Assembly and the Nevis Island Assembly, current reps of the Nevis Island Assembly as well, members of the Diplomatic Corps, and other ambassadors from across the region. Just to do a recap of, or just to remind you, let me say, of the portfolios that have been assigned, and of course get your feedback on these portfolios. You know, last Saturday we were here and we talked about the portfolios that we thought would be assigned to this person or that person and our expectation. Now the portfolios have been assigned, and of course I welcome your feedback on that. But the Prime Minister, the Honorable Dr. Terence Drew, will be responsible for finance, national security, social security, health, citizenship, and immigration. The Honorable Dr. Jeffrey Hanley has been appointed the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Education, Youth, Social Development, Gender Affairs, Aging, and Disabilities. The Right Honorable Dr. Denzel Douglas has been appointed the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Economic Development, International Trade, Investment, Industry and Commerce. The Honorable Congress Maynard is the new Minister of Public Infrastructure and Utilities, Transport, Information Communication Technology and Post. The Ministries of Agriculture, Fisheries, Marine Resources, Entrepreneurship, Creative Economy, and Cooperatives have been assigned to the Honorable Samuel Duggins. And just to provide some clarity here, Creative Economy covers entertainment, culture, and sports. The Honorable Marsha Henderson has been appointed the Minister of Tourism, Civil, Aviation, and Urban Development. The Honorable Garth Wilkin has been appointed Attorney General and Minister of Justice and Legal Affairs. Two other senators have been appointed to serve in the Cabinet or in the Parliament. The Honorable Dr. Joel Clark has been appointed Minister of Sustainable Development, Environment, Climate Action, and Constituency Empowerment. And the Honorable Iselin Phillip will also serve as a senator. These are the positions, the portfolios that were announced on Saturday. For the most part, following social media, people have been giving their take on it and welcoming the portfolios that have been assigned. You know, people have been agreeing with the decision made by the Prime Minister in terms of the different portfolios that have been assigned to the different elected and appointed representatives. But when you look at the composition of the cabinet, you see youth and youth with experience. Youth and youth with experience, and of course a lot of experience, where you have the former Prime Minister, Dr. Douglas, having served as Prime Minister for about 2 decades and long-serving parliamentarian, the experience there, and the other cabinet colleagues in Dr. Jeffrey Hanley, who I would say has a lot of experience in how government functions, where he was director of the Department of Youth and Empowerment for some time and has really been involved in youth work and youth affairs for most of his career. I think he was also, I don't remember the school, but he served as a principal for quite some time. So working in youth and education has really been part of Dr. Hanley's life or career. I think the other portfolios fit him well. Social development you will see some overlap in there, or social development would tie into education and youth, and of course aging and disabilities. Of course, Dr. Douglas taking on foreign affairs, economic development, and those different ministries, I think has been welcomed by most people. Of course, being the minister in that cabinet that has the most experience in how government functions. So, for the most part, the composition of the cabinet is really good. I like the youth and experience, and the youth with experience. The phone lines are open, and we're taking your calls at 466 0989 762 0989 or 662 0989. Let's have a discussion on the portfolios that have been assigned, whether you agree or you disagree, and of course say why you agree or disagree. But again, congratulations to the Prime Minister, the Honorable Dr. Terence Drew, and the rest of his cabinet. Today is the official working day for the other cabinet colleagues. Dr. Drew did say that he started working since last week, but the other cabinet colleagues, they officially begin their work today as members of the cabinet. I guess at this point in time, they would be doing the necessary visits and, getting to know the different staff and all of that within the ministries that they have been assigned. But yes, officially, they begin their work today, and I wish them the very best. Of course, the expectation is really high for all of them, particularly for areas such as health and education. We know that health was a major talking point in the campaign of 2022, and even in the previous campaign of 2020. Health has always been a major talking point for people who are seeking office, as many of them have been presenting their plans as to what they want to do in the area of healthcare for the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. And so I really think going forward, people will have their expectations of the different ministries and so on, the different areas, but I lost my chain of thought there. People will be expecting great things from the different ministers. Just looking at some of the comments so far, one said all were well assigned. I can't see anyone will object. That's the take of someone from on the social media live stream there. So, some would agree and some would disagree. Of course, that's your right, whether you disagree with the appointment of the ministers or if you think, well, maybe it should have gone to this person instead of that person based on their expertise or training or whatever. But it brings home the point again that we talked about last week, where the minister doesn't necessarily they aren't the ones necessarily responsible for the actual work, as most of the work or the bulk of the work is carried out by the permanent secretaries or the department heads or directors. But I think, if you have a medical doctor who is the Minister of Health, then of course you would be expecting great things, and they would have a better understanding of what to do. In other words, as a medical doctor, you perhaps may see more passion and more effort and more work going into that ministry because they've worked in the field and they understand how it goes. There's a question about who is the Minister of Health. Samuel Duggins is responsible for... who's the Minister of Sports? Correction, I'm sorry there. Samuel Duggins is responsible for sports. I know this was a question raised by a number of people as to why, when they were calling out the different ministries, no explanation was given to say, exactly what they're going to be responsible for. So it came to a point where people had to be wondering, well, who's responsible for sports? Who is responsible for culture? Who is responsible for entertainment? And that's something that I note as well, where it was kind of vague until I saw on the Facebook page of Samuel Duggins, the Honorable Samuel Duggins, where he listed that as Minister of the Creative Economy, he will have oversight for areas such as culture and sports and entertainment and all of that. But those areas weren't really specified or explained. The question was raised about solid waste and NHC, I think Dr. Clark will be responsible for those areas. Environment will be responsible for solid waste. And I stand to be corrected, but I think sustainable development would be responsible for the NHC, as I think lands falls would fall under sustainable development. Someone asks who's the Minister of Labor. Oh, okay, that's a good question. I didn't hear that one. That one wasn't announced as to who the Minister of Labor is. So it's a point where, well, while Mr. Duggins gave some explanation, I'll have to go through again to get a better understanding. But the Minister of Labor, that was not specified. But I think in the last cabinet, Ms. Phipps, she was Minister of Labor, International Trade, Consumer Affairs, and all of that. So one can only assume that Consumer Affairs would go into Labor. But that's definitely something that I will follow up on. But with regards to the Sports Minister, Samuel Duggins would be responsible for sports and culture and entertainment. But thank you for the question, Mr. Martin. I'll look into that as to who the Minister of Labor is. We'll take this break now to give a shout out to our sponsors, and when we come back, we'll continue Voices right here on WINN FM 98.9. Let's take this break, and we'll be right back.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. WINN FM.
Buster, roll it up, meet the thirst quencher in my cup. If you have one, hold it up and say, Buster put the colors in my life. Refreshing and nice, and I drink that what we like. Buster, you're full of vibes, living for the color. And I'm black and white, we do what we like. We live to enjoy life. Buster, pour it up, different flavor. Load it up. If you have one, hold it up and say, Buster put the colors in my life.
Enjoy an elevated experience with your Flow Home Internet and mobile combined.
Giving you the best rate for great savings.
With 120 gigs of double data for anything.
And unlimited talk.
On 4 mobile lines.
Simply combine your Flow Home Internet and mobile for the best rate and value. Unlock double data and unlimited talk on 4 mobile lines to go with home internet speeds up to 35 megabits per second. Visit a Flow store to sign up today. Conditions apply.
Yes?
Jean!
Body spray's hot, boy. I can't take it.
Well, it's a good thing I called. The TDC Home and Building Depots are having their Cool 'em Down sale with 20% discount on fans, AC units, coolers, fridges, and more to beat this heat, girl.
Girl, Betty, you're making joke.
No, so stop sweating and let's go to the store now.
Ooh, you come pick me up, because may want to miss the sale at TDC Home and Building Depot.
Yeah, man. And don't forget you can also shop online too, using shoptdcgroup.com.
Cool.
Terms and conditions apply. See stores for details.
Welcome back to Voices right here on WINNFM 98.9. It's 22 minutes past the hour of 11. Thank you so much for joining the program today. The phone lines are open. Call us at 466-0989-762-0989 or 662-0989. What is your take on the portfolios that were assigned on Saturday at the swearing-in ceremony of the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party administration? The different portfolios were assigned, and I've been looking for who the Minister of Labour is. I've not seen that one as yet, but I've asked the question, so just waiting for a response. But that one was not specified, so I am not sure. I'm not certain, but definitely I'll look it up and as soon as possible and try to get that information to you. But yeah, your take on the portfolios, that were assigned, and your expectations, and what do you see coming from these ministers. There's a question about also who is the Minister of State. I think the Minister of the title Minister of State were really for those ministers that were appointed, in other words, senators. So I think Miss Phipps, at her time, she was Minister of State with responsibility. So Minister of State specifies that I think she fell under the office of the Prime Minister. Let's take this call. We have a call on the line. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Hello?
Hello, good morning. You're on the air.
On the ear, please.
Yes, caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Oh, God. Sorry, Mr. I hear you talking about the portfolio. Did Premier Mark Bantley and Honorable Sean and the PM get any Prime Minister Harris? No, right?
No, remember they're on the opposition benches. So
I know.
Yeah.
I just want to say something because I hear Mr. Mark Bantley and this radio station say they're glad they get rid of Harris. Okay? So the host asking the same thing like somebody saying they're glad they rid of them. But when people dig in this, they need to dig too. Because if this is what digging for Prime Minister Harris, all of them fall in it. And old nigger say it. Dig this for me, dig one for you. So nobody could rejoice over them because people saying the same thing. They're glad Mark and Pam informed the government because they had a long list of people named who they're going to send home. When they had the convention in March, Prime Minister Harris up Village Fairfield, a lot of people like their cut. Cut people like. And that is what they want. And Mr. Jose no victimization, and I hope he mean it because Pam, they were waiting on people, but God don't sleep and he don't like ugly. And Timothy Harris leave, and he bless a lot of people, and thank God to win. Bye. A bad wind never blow.
All right, caller. All right, thank you so much, caller, for your contribution to this program. We're still taking your calls here on Voices on WINNFM 98.9. The phone lines are open. Call us at 466-0989 or 762-0989. Yes, there was a comment as about who the Minister of State is. I don't think that was not specified. They don't have a Minister of State, but the Minister of State went to the senators. So you had, for example, Wendy Phipps, who was Minister of State with responsibility for this or whatever. Let's head back to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, sir.
Hello, caller, good morning. You're on the. There's a lot of noise in the background. Can you move to a quieter, a better
good morning,
place?
Sir. And good morning to the listeners and home and abroad, Carl Brown here. So, a contribution I want to make.
Sure, go ahead.
To the new government. I hope that they are going to do some serious construction refurbish, rebuilding, and reorganizing of the civil service. It's in a nasty, deplorable state. One of the first things they have to do is get rid of all them old grandma and grandpa that they have in the civil service in the 70s and 80s. They have to send them home on the retirement. And they have to do some serious retraining of all groups and organizations in the civil service. The civil service needs a rebirth. It is deplorable, and as a senior civil servant, and you know, I always ask in every government, please, to do that. The civil service is deplorable. There is no leader, there is no chief. You just have a load of Indians running up and down making a load of noise. So I hope Dr. Joe and this new Labour government will seriously do a reconstruction and a rebirth of the civil service. The civil service need a lot of training, a lot of seminars, and even some conferences constantly. And if they could afford it, please to do it every 6 months, because, Lord, it is awful. And I mean real awful. The other thing I would like them to touch on, they have to seriously do something concerning these government corporations. There is a lot of friction where anytime some form of raise, double salary and those kind of special payments is made, these corporations is left out and they feel unappreciated, unwanted. Yes, corporations are to make their own money, but the argument is they are government corporations, and they are saying if government is sharing something, they need to get the piece of the something. They feel very left out, like, you know, the other day, a number of corporations did not get the 10% and the back pay. Mm-hmm. And those people are in pain and agony over that. I feel if you're saying it's either we're going to privatize fully or we're going to keep them under the government umbrella, we have to make a decision what we want. Because those people are saying, I am working for the government corporation and I need to get my portion when the government is giving a portion of something. Yes, they are supposed to make their own money, but we all know what's going on. Lots of them, they don't make nothing. Because, you know, a lot of these things are under government corporation is subsidized. And if you're going to do that, they're not going to make much. So something needs to be done about that. It's either you're going to privatize it fully or you're going to leave it under the government umbrella. And once you go under the government umbrella, please to give them what government is giving. If you're going to privatize it, privatize it.
All right.
So.
All right, caller, thank you so much for your contribution to this program. We're still taking your calls. The phone lines are open at 466-0989, 762-0989, or 662-0989. This is Voices for Monday, August 15th, 2022. Let's head back to the phone lines. We'll take this call. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Mr. Cornelius.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm doing great.
All right. Good to hear.
We
Good
want
to
to say
hear.
congratulations to the Labour Party and the new present Prime Minister, Dr. Joe, and all his cabinet. First, let me deal with a situation. We need to clear up something here on this radio, you see? Because a lot of people in this country just population themselves, and they don't realize the population is over. Well, let me speak about the aging I support the AG 1,000%. And nobody twists and turn what he's saying. The AG father is Charles Wilkins. Well, the AG father was in charge of TDC, for TDC, the lawyer. Me and the AG father had it out to do with TDC and the vaccine. Me and the AG had it out to do with the vaccine. So let me clear up this for some people, because a lot of us, even some Labour people, I think it's time we need to stop publishing ourselves. We're moving forward. We're moving upward. And we can't behave like Timothy. That's the point I'm trying to make to our people. I suffered for 7 years. The wickedness of Timothy for 7 years. And I don't want to see my people go back to the same thing. I don't care if it's unity or PAM or PLP or whatever foolishness we had. It's time for us to move on. There's people we know who got to go home, and that's the facts. And if people doing the work professionally, as far as I see, let them do the work. We need to done with this foolishness, and this is a message to a lot of all your unity people who was up and down on the radio prancing when Curtis Cook was talking about his ID and the behavior of Timothy. Because I remember Sanjay Atapan, I didn't hear Friday touching a bunch of stupidness. I worked for TDC at the airport. I didn't work for government, but a lot of time I was defending the wrong. I was working for TDC when I didn't take the vaccine, and a lot of time I was supporting the wrong. Look at the lady in Sandy Point, she's no longer with us. So what we're going to do, continue the foolishness, the stupid behavior of some people. When it's going to end? I cannot see people go to that. I've been through it. It was nasty. My son today, you can't tell him nothing about him because he see what happened to his father. My little children, the same thing. But none of I was saying about the man got children, including Sanjay Atapan and all of them. Oh, Lane got the job. We ain't trust him. What he could do this and what he could do. What can I do? What did I do? But we have people who will not do things and they was taken care of. Nobody was saying nothing about them. And I was happy for them. But somehow you call in the radio. Timothy right to take away ID. Well, the table turned. Nobody believed that the table would have turned. You think they're going to look at Dr. Drew, disrespect Timothy in terms of when he come into function, don't give him a bodyguard, don't let him walk on the red carpet? That was somehow your behavior. But I live to see the day that I could speak on it today. Give Timothy all for him, man. And I will say that with no water in my mouth. And the people who supported him want to get, they'll get. Concerning the age, my brother, we need to stop. Well, Ike mother is a big Pam. So Ike is a Pam. That's the question we must ask ourselves. The age from here, the man Banya, he live here, he among us. He had a show on the same Win FM, we forget. Speaking about what was going on wrong. Panus was on the show. Troy Labour was on the show. Jordan was on the show. We need to stop the foolishness. It's time that we carry country forward, upward, and drag it down again. Look what Timothy was doing to us. We was muddled because a lot of you was defending the wrong. Look today now. Somebody would have never said what I said today. Dr. Joe cannot give me the same politics. I remember this date. Congress cannot give me the same politics because I'm ball out. And that's the problem what we've been going through for years. Nobody tell me about nobody's labor. Nobody tell me about nobody's PAM. Nobody tell me about nobody's PLP. We are all petition and division. The division need to stop. And I say that very passionate because I've been through hell with Timothy Harris. And some of our supporters who was defending the foolishness. What was my wrong? But I'm not going to go on and say, run home, little small man. Run home, that little small man. No. The big boys, them, we know they got to go. People like that lady Josephine Hogan, who was very disrespectful on election day. I wouldn't even say back what she said. These are the kind of people we had in big places in the government. Very disrespectful. And if I didn't keep me cool, somebody would have get vexed because I didn't put me on and off. But I keep me cool and I turn off. That's all I have to say, my brother. All I'm saying to our country, God is the AG. I support him 1,000%. Everybody deserves a fair chance. Because he's a Wilkins, I do not care. He has a mother. What he mother be? But we need to look at this kind of foolishness going forward. So this is a small message to some Labour people. It's not about Labour. Labour alone did not win the election. The election was won by Labour, PAM, and PLP people. Because there's people who was Labour or PAM and PLP who went and voted for Labour. So let us be careful when we call in people PLP. Let us be careful when we call in people PAM. Because at the end of the day, next election, we're going to need every single vote again. So all you who used to call now kind of foolishness, listen up today. I will not defend the foolishness what our leader do to me. And I'm waiting to sit in there to put out my hand to him, to tell him my heart is at ease. Because he needs that. I need to tell him that. Because all what he did to me, there's a thing called forgiveness. And I always believe I'm going to go hard on people, but I have a conscience. And my conscience is what I'm going to go with for the rest of my life and continue. Love is always in my heart. And once you've been aggressive to me, I will be aggressive going back. So my people, at the end of the day, my brother, we all keep vision and the vision. Right. Who to get what, let them get. Because I will not stand here and want my people to go through the same thing what Timothy Harris has done to me for the past 7 years. My brother, enough love. You have a good day and a compliment again. The cabinet, and I wish them all the best going forward. My brother, you have a good day.
All right, you too, take care, and thank you so much for your contribution to this program. This is Voices right here on WINFM 98.9. It's 11:40 here in the studio. We'll take a short break to acknowledge our sponsors, and when we come back, we'll take some more calls. Let's take this break, and we will be right back.
Found the sound. 98.9 WIN FM.
Enjoy an elevated experience with your Flow Home Internet and mobile combined.
Giving you the best rate for great savings.
With 120 gigs of double data for anything.
And unlimited talk.
On 4 mobile lines.
Simply combine your Flow Home Internet and mobile for the best rate and value. Unlock double data and unlimited talk on 4 mobile lines to go with home internet speeds up to 35 megabits per second. Visit a Flow store to sign up today. Conditions apply.
Class, it's that time of year again to get everything you need for back to school. Go to the TDC Home and Building Depot in St. Kitts and City Drugstore Nevis Limited or shop tdcgroup.com. Shop and get deep discounts for all your school essentials. Backpacks, notebooks, pens, pencils, school bundles, computers, and more. While you're there, be sure to donate to Shop and Share to help the less fortunate and stay ahead of the grade. Oh, and don't forget, Flash Sale Fridays. Now that you know, class is dismissed. See you at the TDC Home and Building Depot and City Drugstore Nevis Limited. Terms and conditions apply. See stores for details.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are solely those of the participant or caller and do not reflect the views of WINFM 98.9. WINFM reserves the right to disconnect any caller who infringes the law or offends the right of any person. The station will also refuse to take any call from any person who in WINFM's considered opinion is likely to expose the station to liability for statements made on the air. Welcome back to Voices. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Devon.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Awesome. I'm good, thanks. Giving thanks for life.
Yes. Devon, this is Journey here. I just want to say, I listened to Curtis over the past 7 years, and I listened to a comment he made last week on a different radio station congratulating our new government. And he made a speech to our former Prime Minister. Now, with all the bitterness that Curtis suffered for the past 7 years, at one time, I had said I am with him in the sense that he was saying, with all of them got to go. And I supported that. Now, listening to Curtis again a little while ago, I must say, I hope he finds solace now that the government has changed. And, you know, Devon, I've been calling for unity because my message to our people is that I have asked the question before the election whose agenda and whose narrative our former Prime Minister was carrying out. Now we have a change in government. Because you see, Devon, today the world is run by agenda, narrative, and hypocrisy. Now we have a change in government, and we now have to be on the alert to observe which path our leaders is going to take us to. Curtis have suffered, and we all were silent. We all were silent. Even the Christian community was silent, Devon. We heard Curtis' cries. We felt his pain, but we all stayed put. Nobody lent support to Curtis. Now, when he said what he said last week about our new Prime Minister and the former Prime Minister, it was profound. And I am saying, Journey today saying, I hope Curtis finds solace now that the government has changed. And we now have to look to ourselves as a body, united, not being divided. My cry was, Devon, that those who divided us, and I'm not just talking about our space here in the Caribbean in St. Kitts and Nevis. We were divided and we were broken by a people, and it has worked for them. My cry is for us to look to the future because the West, the whole world is dying. It is burning, it is flooding if you are in the news, Devon. Europe is on fire right now, and those who have divided us, it have worked for them. We have to look to ourselves and create our own narrative, our own agenda in going forward to our future. So once again, I too have congratulated our Prime Minister-elect and his cabinet. And we are watching. We are watching. Thank you for hearing me, Devon.
And thank you so much, caller, for your contribution to this program. We're still taking your calls right up until 12 noon, where we break for the headline news. The phone lines are open. Call us at 466-0989, 762-0989, or 662-0989. The phone lines are open. Want to hear from you? Let's head back to the phone lines. We will take this call. Caller, you're on the air. Good morning.
Greetings. Thanks for taking our call. Okay, let's start here. Yeah, 1 minute. All right. Election is over, and we'd like all and sundry to take note of that. The politicking to stop. We had a general election, and it is over. It is over. It is over. Are we still online?
Yes, I'm listening to you.
Yesterday I did by a bus stop in the country, and a bus passed. A bus had come to me and I tried to stop the bus. And the bus move on. And when the bus move on, when the bus passed me, I hear the driver say, I done a little naked red shirt that is wear when I want to be naked, kind of holy. Me hear the driver say, me not carrying nobody in a red shirt. Me say, really? Me say, really? So me know how deep this thing has still be.
Caller? Okay, we seem to have lost that caller. The phones are open. We're still taking your calls. 466-0989, 0989 or 6620989. This is Voices. We have another call. Let's head back to the phone lines. Caller, you're on the air. Good morning.
Hey, good morning again, sir. Carl Brown here again. So,
yes,
as everybody is saying, the congratulatory message has all gone out. I too have congratulated the government, though I did not support the government and don't support the winning party. I congratulate them over overwhelming large victory, but I will rebound and rebuild, and I'll come back. What I would like to say to this government, as I have been saying to the past several governments, we would like, finally, if the doctor, the Prime Minister Joe and his party could find a home for vendors, a permanent home. Everybody cannot hold up on the agro strip. Everybody cannot hold in the market. There are many types of different business that they do in vending. And if you see up on the agro strip and in the market, cannot hold the several types of different kind of vending. So, Honorable Prime Minister and whoever is the minister that the vending fall under, are you pleased to find a very large piece of land and locate the several types of vendors permanently, never to be moved? Because every time you go to do some kind of vending somewhere, some organization come with their powers and move you.
All right.
I know because I used to vend in town for many years. And I have been moved for several time up and down the place. Through that, I have to done with the vending. I have to done with the vending and take my things home because I could not take on the constant moving up and down, across, down there, go up there, come back over here. I mean, come on, they had you like a gear stick, right? So I am asking and requesting of this government, please, are you find a very large piece of land to relocate, like I said already, several types of vending, because many more people will be coming into the entrepreneur business. Many people going to be coming in different vending type of businesses. And one of the things we have to say, those people who are in charge of issuing land for people doing business, there are many applications. One of them is mine, inside there, to do some business. Are you please allocate the land to us now? We have been waiting quite a while.
All right.
So please allocate the land so we can ease the pressure off the government and offer some of those big businesses in town, because we want to hire staff. We have business plans, ideas. We are ready to go, but we are not getting the land. We need the land to start operating and start hiring some people. Gone, so.
All right, caller, thank you for your contribution to this program. It's 11:51, a few minutes before the 12 o'clock hour, where we break for the headline news and come back for the second hour of Voices for today. For those of you who are just joining the program, we are commenting on the Saturday's inauguration of the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party administration following their win in the August 5th general elections here in St. Kitts and Nevis. Portfolios have now been assigned to the various elected representatives, and senators have been appointed. A new attorney general has been appointed, and 2 other senators. The 2 senators are the Honorable Dr. Joyelle Clark, who will be responsible for the Ministries of Sustainable Development, Environment. She will have oversight or responsibility for climate action and constituency empowerment. And Iselin Phillip, the Honorable Iselin Phillip, will be a senator in the National Assembly. the Honorable Garth Wilkin will serve as Attorney General and Minister of Justice and Legal Affairs. So today is the official working day for the new cabinet of the government of St. Kitts and Nevis, led by the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party. And again, I wish them the very best as they look after the affairs of the country, run the affairs of the country, and we hope that they will be carrying out the people's agenda. As I said in the early part of this program, the expectation from them really, really high. Of course, for those of you who have been following social media, of course, that's where a lot of the action is and a lot of the commentary is. People have been, pointing out different areas that the government should, have as part of their list of things that they want to do. I don't know whether it be in the first 100 days or in the first year or something like that. But the expectation is really, really, really high. As I said, in areas of health and education, you have health with some of the allegations that came, with JNF and some of the issues that they had with the hospital. And in education, with the Bastia High School, I think that will be a major headache. We know that was a major talking point, or rather a hot button topic, where everybody was saying, well, the Bastia High School, and look, it was a bunch of back and forth. So they have a lot of work to do to, fulfill a number of campaign promises, and a lot of work to do in continuing where the previous administration left off from, and at the same time trying to not deliver on every single thing that everybody say you should, because you're going to have those people who are going to come and say, well, do this and do that. No, but of course, all of these things would be dependable on, if the country can manage these things in terms of finances and all of that. And so a lot of assessment and all of that would have to be done with the Ministry of Finance and those relevant departments to see if some of these things are possible. Thank you guys so much for joining the first hour of Voices here on WIN FM 98.9, and I've been your host, Devon Cornelius. We break at 12 for the headline news, and when we come back, we'll continue the conversation right here on Voices. Again, for those of you who joined late, we were commenting on the portfolios that have been assigned. I see a comment here that suggests that Philip will also be the Deputy Speaker. Well, that has not been confirmed officially, but more than likely, yes. Iselin Philip may be the Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, but that has not been officially communicated, or I have not seen any official communication that suggests that that is the case. But again, congratulations to them. Let me just recap the portfolios that have been assigned for those of you who may have missed that. And yes, so the Prime Minister, the Honorable Dr. Terence Chu, has been assigned Finance, National Security and Immigration, Health and Social Security. The Honorable Dr. Jeffrey Hanley has been appointed Deputy Prime Minister and Minister with responsibility for education, youth, social development, gender affairs, aging, and disabilities. The Right Honorable Dr. Denzel Douglas, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Economic Development, International Trade, Investment, Industry, and Commerce. The Honorable Conris Maynard, Minister of Public Infrastructure and Utilities, Transport, Information Communication Technology, and Post. The Honorable Samuel Duggins, Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries, Marine Resources, Entrepreneurship, Cooperatives, and the Creative Economy. The Honorable Marsha Henderson, Minister of Tourism, Civil Aviation and Urban Development. The Honorable Garth Wilkin, Attorney General and Minister of Justice and Legal Affairs, the Honorable Dr. Joel Clark, Minister of Sustainable Development, Environment, Climate Action and Constituency Empowerment, and Iselin Phillip is a senator in the National Assembly of St. Kitts and Nevis. These are the portfolios and the positions that have been assigned. Dr. Drew, during his address at the inauguration on Saturday, spoke to a number of areas that the government has begun the work on in terms of the travel restrictions for St. Kitts and Nevis and COVID-19 protocols, and so that is in the pipeline. The government has committed to financial assistance for children in need of special medical attention. He also announced that the government will be assisting students who intend to or will be attending the Clarence Fitzroy Bryant College. So a number of things have already started with the administration in terms of areas that they will be looking at, and of course trying to deliver on some of the campaign promises that they made during the campaign. But a lot is really expected from the administration, and I know that people are going to expect that things will happen now. I just want to urge you to give them some time. I'm not asking you to be lenient, but give them some time to find their footing in terms of, getting in government and understanding the different ministries and on all of that. But give them some time to deliver. I know oftentimes we would see where people are elected and not even a year has gone, and we are quick to say, well, you promised this and you promised that. Yes, it is good. It is good for us to keep following up and holding our elected representatives accountable in, following up to make sure that they deliver on their campaign promises, but understanding at the same time that they would need some time to get these things done, to accomplish some of these things that they promised during the campaign. And so I would say, yes, continue to hold them accountable on issues and things that they campaigned on during the season, the campaign season, but understanding that government is not what we think it is, where things just happen just like that. We would have to give them time to get these things done. It's the top of the hour. We'll take this break now for the headline news, and when we come back, we'll continue the program right here on Win FM 98.9. Let's take this break for the headline news, and we will be right back. Stick and stay.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
We now bring you the headline news. The headline news is brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, The Grange, KDP Enterprises, Carib Brewery, and the ICDF Taiwan Technical Mission.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
Think before you bin it. There can be some use in it. The Nevis Solid Waste Management Authority, in collaboration with Taiwan ICDF Technical Mission and the Department of Environment, presents Let's Recycle. We're encouraging all residential homes, commercial businesses, and schools to bring along your plastic bottles, metal cans, and aluminum cans ready for an opportunity to win big. From 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the following locations. In Nevis, every second and fourth Friday of each month at Delta Petroleum, ex-Petrol in Camps, Big Six in Gingerland, and the Old Artisan Village in Charlestown. In St. Kitts, every second and fourth Tuesday at the Connery Roundabout, every first and third Tuesday at Buckley's parking lot in front of Best Buy, and the last Saturday of each month in Deep Bay. But wait, that's not all. 1 pound equals 1 point. So bring your recyclables and build up your points for a chance to win stainless steel thermal bottles, flatware, and much more. To learn more about the recycling project, do visit our Facebook page at Let's Recycle in St. Kitts and Nevis, or contact us at 465-2372. The choice is yours. Save it or waste it. You are the difference. So think smart. Take PAT, reduce, reuse, recycle.
Protect your lifestyle with Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Dealing well with a local reputation and service for second to none. Securing you is our mission. People that you can trust, your business, property, we got you covered. Motor or personal, whatever it is, we got you covered. 130 years in this business, we got you covered. For all your insurance needs, visit or call us at 465-2631 or 469-5303. Dealey Walwyn, people you can trust.
With over a century of perfection behind the Mackeson name, a smooth blend with perfect balance and richness, it's no wonder Mackeson Triple Stout has a legacy of perfection. Enjoyed the world over. Introducing our new look with the same great taste. Mackeson. All hail the king.
Please drink responsibly.
Shipping your cargo shouldn't be a hassle. It can be as easy as a single call to Amerijet International, your worldwide cargo transportation solution. We provide all the services you need to ship your goods anywhere in the world, whether your shipment is fresh, frozen, large or small, alive or hazardous. You can count on Amerijet to deliver it safe and sound. Amerijet International, by land, sea or air, we get it there. For more information, visit us online at www.amerijet.com or call us at KDP Enterprises at 466-9595.
With the WINNFM News, I am Devon Cornelius. Making the headlines, new government committed to providing all financial assistance needed for any child seeking special overseas medical care. Force Nigerians to serve on government benches of the National Assembly. UN leaders call on international community to support SIDS recovery. The details straight ahead. Prime Minister the Honorable Dr. Terence Dew has promised that his newly sworn-in government will assist parents who need financial assistance to get the necessary overseas medical care for their sick children. While addressing thousands at the swearing-in ceremony of his cabinet at the Warner Park Cricket Stadium on August 13, 2022, Prime Minister Dew, who is a medical doctor by profession and the Minister of Health, said that it breaks his heart to see sick children suffer and even die because their parents cannot afford the required medical care overseas.
On the campaign trail, I have often spoke of the hardships faced by parents who had children who were in dire need of advanced medical care that is not available here in St. Kitts and Nevis. Often these parents had to have multiple takeaway dinners, barbecues, seek help through social media campaigns, and take sponsorships around just to try to raise the much needed funds to take their sick child or children overseas. My heart aches, our heart aches for those parents who have lost their little ones, especially those who have recently passed away. And 2 of them have recently passed away. As a father and a medical doctor, and many of us here are parents, and 1 other medical doctor among us, we cannot bear to see parents and children suffer in this manner. Therefore, your government will ensure that it provides the financial assistance needed for any child who must seek special medical care overseas.
Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis and Minister of Health, the Honorable Dr. Terence Drew. The St. Kitts National Youth Parliament Association Sniper extends congratulations to 4 Sniperians who took the oath of office, the oath of allegiance, and the oath of secrecy at the swearing-in ceremony of the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party administration. One of Sniper's founding fathers, the Honorable Dr. Jeffrey Hanley, was appointed Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Education, Youth, Social Development, Gender Affairs, Aging and Disabilities. The Honorable Convis Maynard, an alumnus of Sniper, was sworn in as Minister of Public Infrastructure and Utilities, Information, Communication and Technology and Post. 2 Sniper alumni have been appointed as senators to sit on the government benches of the National Assembly, the Honorable Iselene Phillip and the Honorable Dr. Joel Clark. Dr. Clark will also serve in Cabinet as Minister of Sustainable Development, Environment, Climate Action and Constituency Empowerment. President of Sniper, Muriel Knight, who was in attendance at the swearing-in ceremony, said, quote, "I am proud of the accomplishments of our former members. They have each in their own way demonstrated a will to place country above self, and I am confident that the training received during their time at Sniper will go a long way in allowing them to execute their duties," end quote. He added, quote, "I encourage them even now as they serve not only as mentors to the current Sniperians, but to all youth within our federation to serve with dignity, integrity, and a renewed sense of patriotism. I wish them all the best for the tenure ahead," end quote. Sniper also congratulates Prime Minister the Honorable Dr. Terence Drew as Minister of Finance, National Security, Health, Citizenship and Immigration and Social Security. Right Honorable Dr. Denzel Douglas, who was appointed Minister of Foreign Affairs, Economic Development, International Trade, Investments, Industry and Commerce. Honorable Samuel Duggins as Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Marine Resources, Cooperatives, Entrepreneurship and Creative Economy. The Honorable Marsha Henderson as Minister of Tourism, Civil Aviation and Urban Development, and the Honorable Garth Wilkin, son of Honorary Member Charles Wilkin, as Attorney General and Minister of Justice and Legal Affairs. Also part of the Sniper contingent that attended the swearing-in ceremony on Saturday, August 13 at Warner Park Cricket Stadium were Vice President Malachi Ferguson, General Secretary Duana Bradley, and General Members Hassani MacDonald and Azandra Atherton. Abdullah Shahid, President of the 76th session of the United Nations General Assembly on Wednesday, called on the international community to strengthen its commitment to the sustainable development of small island developing states, SIDS. Shahid opened the Wadadli Action Platform, which took place on August 8th and 9th, 2022 at St. John's, Antigua, hosted by Antigua and Barbuda in its capacity as chair of the Alliance of Small Island States, AOSIS, in partnership with the governments of Denmark and the United Kingdom. With the 4th International Conference for SIDS on the horizon, the Wadadli Action Platform brought together more than 100 participants, including high-level SIDS leaders, international partners, and institutional officials, to take stock of SIDS critical issues, identify developmental gaps, and raise consensus on initiatives aimed to advance recovery and meet sustainable development goals. SIDS must remain a priority for the international community, including partner governments and the UN system, said Shahid. SIDS are at the front line of multiple global crises, from climate change to food security, from challenges to our marine environment to exorbitant debt. Compounding crises have heightened our debt burden. The need for a long-term solution to the debt crisis we have faced is critical. The debt obligations faced by SIDS globally are unsustainable and immoral, Shahid added. The Shahid emphasized the importance of Multi-Dimensional Vulnerability Index, MVI, which is being developed by an UN expert panel co-chaired by Antigua and Barbuda Prime Minister Gaston Brown. The MVI will better capture the vulnerabilities of countries beyond their gross domestic product, GDP, and will include environmental and social considerations. This would make it a vital tool to enable SIDS to access the financing needed to adapt to climate change and strengthen long-term resilience. He called for the support of the international community, including international financial institutions and public and private creditors, in its implementation. Dr. Hyginus Leon, president of the Caribbean Development Bank, reiterated the need for use of the MVI. Access to finance is existential for SIDS. There is need for an integration of the debt sustainability framework of the International Monetary Fund, the Investment Growth Nexus of the World Bank, and the SDG, Resilience Building Framework of the United Nations, he said. A key element of that integration is the need for a multi-dimensional vulnerability index. It has the scope to provide an effective and equitable mechanism for determining access to adequate and affordable finance to achieve the SDGs. Sessions also focused on loss and damage, climate change, promoting gender parity and inclusion for people with disabilities, data challenges, and leveraging indigenous intellectual capacity to build solutions, among other topics.
In Trinidad and Tobago, an elderly man reportedly murdered his wife and chopped his son before being shot dead by police. 80-year-old Caltus Moody died at the San Fernando Hospital on Wednesday while receiving medical care. Reports in the local press are that the man, without warning, suddenly attacked his son with a cutlass, chopping him in the head. The son told investigators that he was able to escape, but while he was fleeing his father, he heard a gunshot. Local publication The Guardian reports that police believe Moody went upstairs after attacking his son and shot his wife, Silda. Moody is said to have raised his gun at responding officers, who answered by opening fire. The octogenarian was hit multiple times. Silda Moody and her son Derek reportedly just returned from the United States last Saturday. There was no history of domestic violence between the Moodys, and investigators are still searching for a motive in the attacks. The high-profile Klansman trial in Jamaica is still ongoing, albeit with one fewer defendant. The trial began last September with 33 alleged members of the St. Catherine-based gang, but the defendant list was whittled down to 28 after 5 men were freed. Now there are 27 defendants after the only defendant granted bail, Andre Smith, was gunned down on Wednesday night. Smith was in court concerning his alleged membership in the Klansman gang, as well as to answer charges relating to a double murder 5 years ago. He was granted bail at the beginning of the court matter and was next due in court on September 19th. However, on Wednesday, shortly after 9 p.m., a man on a motorcycle is reported to have pulled up next to the car Smith was driving, shot the suspected Klansman member, and then drove away. Smith later succumbed to his injuries in hospital. Jamaican police said they were currently trying to determine whether the attack emanated from the St. Catherine North area. Smith's attorney called his client's death sad and told reporters from the Jamaica Observer that had Smith survived, he was, quote, bound to be acquitted since the case against him was weak.
One year on, life for women and girls is very different, with harsh rules including restrictions on education and employment. Our chief international correspondent Lise Doucette, who was in Kabul last August, has returned there and sent this special report.
It's a man's world. Afghanistan is a conservative country. But the rules are now set by the ultra-conservative Taliban. Spaces which had opened up for women have now been slammed shut. We met 3 generations of women whose lives speak loudly about their world. Many are afraid. They don't want to be identified. This woman used to be a senior official in the finance ministry. Last year, the Taliban told her, stay at home. A man would take her job.
I worked for more than 17 years in the finance ministry. It was difficult with children, family, and work, but I went to university and got my master's degree. We spent so much time to get here. Now we are back to zero. Everything is finished.
More than 60 female civil servants have banded together. They shared some of the exchanges on their messaging group.
We earned our jobs. If we accept this, it means we have betrayed ourselves.
What's our crime? They want me to give my job to my brother.
If we do this, we are removing ourselves from society. Please don't give up. We should be unified.
Women haven't completely disappeared from the streets or ministries like health, education, security. There are spaces only for women. This market has just reopened in the western city of Herat. This was the first day. Women a bit nervous. Shops still empty.
This is it?
Yes.
It's your shop?
Today is closed.
Yes. When? Oh, look at your sewing machines.
18-year-old Suhaila is excited. She's reopening this dress shop with her big sister. But she should be in her last year of school. Suhaila was the top student in her class. But the Taliban shut most high schools.
I'm very sad to if I finished school, I started university. But I can't go to university because I'm not graduated from school.
Was it hard for you? No school, no shop. How hard was it?
I think it's not for me, and for all of the girls of Afghanistan, it's a sad memory that he ended in school. Sorry?
Okay.
Sorry.
It's hard here too, far away in the Central Highlands. This is one of Afghanistan's poorest provinces. Since the Taliban took over, even poorer. And there's still no aid to their government. For the destitute and desperate, agonizing choices, this woman gave her daughter in marriage for about £1,000. She's only 6 years old. So is her husband-to-be.
She's too young, but I gave her away because we have no food. So my other children don't die of hunger. It's still very hard, but now she can eat with her in-laws. I had no other option but to give her away.
Child marriage is prohibited but pervasive in Afghanistan, but not this young. We've hidden the identity of mother, daughter, and son.
Her in-laws told me they will take care of her, like their own child, because she's so young. They told me, don't worry.
What mother wouldn't worry? What child wouldn't weep? A new generation takes shape in a new Afghanistan. The Taliban say the rights of boys and girls within Islam will be respected. But 1 year on, there's growing fear that girls who are learning to lead will be left far behind. Lise Doucette, BBC News, Kabul.
Well, the Taliban's heartland was in southern Afghanistan around Kandahar, which is the second largest city in the country. And as part of our 1 year on coverage, our correspondent Sikandar Kermani is there tonight, having reported extensively from different parts of Afghanistan, both before and since the Taliban takeover. Sikandar, what are your impressions of what this last year has meant for most Afghans?
Well, two things stand out. The way that the Taliban stance has grown increasingly hardline over the course of the year, and how different the experience of living under the Taliban has been for different Afghans. A lot of it depends on how they define freedom. For many teenage girls, they no longer have the freedom to go to school. Anyone wanting to publicly criticize the Taliban runs the risk of arrest, torture, or even death, and many are deeply despondent here. But there are others for whom freedom has a very different meaning. Villagers who are already living by deeply conservative values. For them, freedom means being able to plough their fields without being afraid of being caught in the crossfire of a gun battle. And for them, many of them at least, life under the Taliban is preferable to life at war. What unites Afghans is deep concern at the dire state of the economy. This is a country that was propped up by foreign spending. A lot of money is still coming in, but nowhere near as much as before the Taliban, and it's ordinary people who are seeing the consequences of that.
Sikandar, thank you. Sikandar Kermani there in Kandahar.
That was the Win FM Headline News. The Headline News is brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, The Grange, KDP Enterprises, Carib Brewery, and the ICDF Taiwan Technical Mission.
Shipping your cargo shouldn't be a hassle. It can be as easy as a single call to Amerijet International, your worldwide cargo transportation solution. We provide all the services you need to ship your goods anywhere in the world, whether your shipment is fresh, frozen, large or small, alive or hazardous. You can count on Amerijet to deliver it safe and sound. Amerijet International, by land, sea or air, we get it there. For more information, visit us online at www.amerijet.com or call us at KDP Enterprises at 466-9595.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib. It's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Protect your lifestyle with Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Dealing well with a local reputation and service for second to none. Securing you is our mission. People that you can trust, your business, property, we got you covered. Motor or personal, whatever it is, we got you covered. 130 years in this business, we've got you covered. For all your insurance needs, visit or call us at 465-2631 or 469-5303. Dealey Walwyn, people you can trust.
Think before you bin it. There can be some use in it. The St. Kitts and Nevis Solid Waste Management, in collaboration with Taiwan ICDF Technical Mission and the Department of Environment, presents Let's Recycle. We are encouraging all residential homes, commercial businesses, and schools to bring along your plastic bottles, metal cans, and aluminum cans ready for an opportunity to win big. From 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. every second and fourth Tuesday each month at the following locations in St. Kitts: the Connery Roundabout, every first and third Tuesday at Buckley's parking lot in front of Best Buy, and the last Saturday of each month in Dead Bay. In Nevis, every second and fourth Friday of each month at Delta Petroleum, Ex-Petrol in Camps, Big Six in Gingerland, and Old Artisan Village in Charlestown. But wait, that's not all. 1 pound equals 1 point. So bring your recyclables and build up your points for a chance to win stainless steel thermal bottle, flatware set, and much more. To learn more about the recycling project, do visit our Facebook page at Let's Recycle in St. Kitts and Nevis, or contact us at 465-2372. The choice is yours. Save it or waste it. You are the difference. Reduce, reuse, recycle.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
We are saddened to announce the passing of the late Mutrice Herbert, who leaves to mourn 2 children, Evadine and Trevon Herbert, 5 grandchildren, Tichelle, Kiera, Javin, Olivia and Mateo Herbert, and 2 daughters-in-law, Carol and Tony Herbert, 6 beloved sisters, Vanessa James, Idris Skeet, Angie Johnson, Jennifer and Mercelyn Herbert, and Vancelyn Knight. Many nieces and nephews and family and friends, too numerous to mention. The funeral service for the late Mutrice Herbert of Cabbage Tree, Cayon, will be held on Tuesday, August 16th at 1 p.m. at the Cayon Bethesda Moravian Church. Please come and celebrate the life of Mutrice with her family and friends as we lay a beautiful soul to rest.
Different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
It's that time of the year again. The time when Horsewood Furniture and Appliances gives away millions in cash back for free groceries with every FlexPlay purchase. Never-ending cash back for the past 25 years. SL Horsewood and Company Limited. Horsewood Furniture and Appliances Showroom. Ashley Furniture Home Store in collaboration with Value Mart IGA has given customers millions of dollars in cash back for free groceries with every higher purchase in their never-ending cash back. Yes, the Horsewood's Cashback Free Groceries annual program and promotion is the biggest and longest running of its kind in the Federation. Come today and get cashback coupons for absolutely free groceries in the never-ending cashback promotion. Yes, happening now. Get cashback coupons for absolutely free groceries with every higher purchase. The never-ending cashback is back at Horsewood's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Home Store, where you get cashback coupons for free groceries with every FlexPay purchase. Never-ending savings, never-ending discounts, never-ending quality and service. It's the never-ending cashback. Don't miss it. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back to Voices right here on WINNFM 98.9. It's 12:34 and we're going to continue where we left off from. Thank you so much for joining the program today. This is Voices. I'm your host, Devon Cornelius. The phone lines are open, so we'll be heading back to the phone lines to take some more calls. Just before the news break, some callers are trying to get in, perhaps to give their take on the portfolios that were assigned, and so let's head back to the phone lines to allow them to get in. Caller, you're on the air. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon again, Mr. Cornelius.
Yes, good afternoon.
I went to vote on election day, and I dedicate my vote to Vincia Douglas.
We call it, turn off the radio. There's some feedback coming through. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, go ahead now.
Yeah, I said I went to vote on election day, and I dedicate my vote to Vincia Douglas. You've been hearing me speaking about this lady for a while, and the situation with the vaccine. And some people was bambasing, oh, you're bringing out the woman news and this and that. Well, I had all right to talk. I used to speak to my coworker every single day. Every day I make sure I say she good morning, and we used to speak. And the last thing we speak about, my brother, and I have all the texts, that she said this vaccine has changed her life. Blood clot in the lungs, then blood clot to the heart. She said to me she hoped that if the government change, she will get compensation. She did not live to see it, my brother. My brother, my friend, my co-worker died a broken heart. Some weeks ago she said, Cook, make sure you come and see me. I said, I will come. I went there after 11. That's not the co-worker I work with. She couldn't even walk from here to there. So she was short of breath. My brother, it's a long story. I'm very disappointed in TDC. I'm very disappointed in the government then, because nobody seemed to care. Nobody was reaching out to the lady. I don't know why, but nobody was reaching out to Vincia Douglas. She died a broken heart. I texted in the morning, 6:08, not knowing that she passed away the night. And when I've been speaking, Some people calling the radio, oh, she condition and this and that and that. But people don't know people's going through, my brother. People do not know what people went through. They do not know poor Windsor went through. Windsor was a jolly, upgoing lady. Drive herself, take care of herself. And to find out, she took the vaccine for the job, for the company. She's no longer with us. But when I speak, some people take everything for a joke, my brother. I don't just talk. I talk with the facts. We talk every day. Sometimes Windsor send me these things with a little eye, like somebody crying. The vaccine has changed her life. That was her words. I got all it takes. And my friend died with a broken heart. Because the government has changed. What will happen? So my brother, our people, that's what he said to you earlier today. We need to stop taking things for a joke. Stop taking people for a joke. This is a learning curve for people who believe when they're on the high horse, they cannot come down. This is a message to a lot of these people who was very adamant, very disrespectful to the ordinary people. Because some people believe that St. Kitts belongs to them. They could have disrespect you. As the same woman I call Josephine Huggins. Look at our killer used to be. She called police to me on election day, some police to me. That's a killer by one. My name was at the camp to be arrested. For what? These are the kind of people who was in our government. These are the kind of people who was ruling the country. Look at the lady I tell you from TBC. Look at him. Who would believe that today Timothy Harris would have never been the Prime Minister? Who would have believed today that Mark Brantley, Timothy Harris, and Sean Richard are going to be on the same bench? Opposition. And look the joke. Are they together on the opposition bench? The answer is no. First time in history, Mark Brantley, three leaders are going to be on the opposition bench. When Mark said he opposed, what Tim Ben said he opposed? What does it mean there? How is it going to work for them three? People of this Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, this is a learning curve for us. Stop believing that you're better than people. Stop believing because you're up in government, one day you expect to come back down. Because Timothy's an ordinary man today. Man, Brantley the same thing, Sean the same thing. And it seems like some of us not understanding. My people, let us come together now more than ever. Because Timothy Harris has divided us. And divided us big time. Mash up family, big time. But we cannot go on no more with this foolishness. It's not about me. It's not about you. It's about the country and the people. Our people need love. For years, you hear me say God need us. I'm from Nevis, but I was in Nevis.
Yeah.
You need to swing back in England and make sure you look after everybody.
Yeah.
So we need to live, my brother. This is the learning code for our children's future. You've been asking for to tell you my 17-year-old son. You can't tell him nothing about him. My little son, the other day, come say, hey, Daddy, Labour win. You understand what's going on, and I keep saying to us, my brother, should our people go through that again, that our people, children, hate Douglas? Hate Dr. June? We need to be better than this, my brother. And all I'm saying is dedicate this one to Vincia Douglas.
All right,
my brother, you have a good day.
All right, thank you so much for your contribution to this program. The phone lines are still open, and we're taking your calls right here on Voices on WINN-FM 98.9. Call us at 466-0989, 762-0989, or 662-0989. I'm your host for today, Devon Cornelius. We are commenting on the assignment of the portfolios last week, Saturday. Let's head back to the phone lines. We have a caller. Caller, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Greetings forwardly. Thanks for taking our call, and sorry about the abrupt ending earlier. And that reminds us to echo because we heard others say, WINN-FM need a toll-free line. Management, he done put it in place. All right. We were saying that with their bus, with their chopper bus, and we got on a netty red shirt with a wheel when we want to feel naked, guy got a little hole in it. And a bus man pick me up, and when he passed me, he say, I'm not carrying nobody in a red shirt. I say, really? And someone tell me they had a similar experience in an orange shirt, and someone tell me they had a similar experience in a yellow hat. We want to tell all and sundry that the election done. The election done. The election done. The campaigning and the election done. We listened Mr. Cook a while ago, you know. We want to extend condolences to the Sistrian family and friends. Curtis, you included. You see what do you call it? You think them what that's the injection, what does the people have to take? Have to take. Why name again?
The vaccine?
Yeah, you see the vaccine story, that's a different thing, you know. Me not even want to go there right now, you know. No, me not want to go there because I'm going to get vexed. Yeah. Anyhow, condolences, I more. The family is.
All right.
Me not done, you know. Me not done.
Oh, I thought you were wrapping up. But go ahead quickly.
Me wrap.
Yeah, go ahead quickly.
Give me a few. When, as we say in the election done a while ago, remember the whole heap of thing what they got all about. All the political parties, we want them to take up on the thing them. We have enough garbage already. We have enough nastiness. Me see a yellow one in a culvert right there by the bottom, by Rothschild, in a gut, in a culvert, by a bar. We want, and them all about the red one them, the orange one them, take up on the sing thing. Take up on the sing thing them adding to the nastiness and take them up. The election done. The election done. Thanks for hearing us, my brother. Thanks for the time. Blessed love.
All right, thank you, caller. Let's take this other caller on the phone line. Hey, caller, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Hi, good afternoon. Hello.
Hi, caller, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Hi, good afternoon. I keep hearing them saying that Timothy divide. Timothy didn't divide nobody. People divide their own. Say, if I have a family and they are Palmer labor, I am not going to make them an enemy. Tomorrow is my family. The Bible says, choose who you may serve this day. You have hell and heaven, right? If I'm a Christian and you're not none, and I'm going to invite you in, but I cannot force you. I'm not going to make you make no enemy. People make enemy for themselves. Stop blame people. Blame their own self. There's no excuse when you go to God. When God come, you can't tell God because the person was going up a hill and he wrong and I couldn't go. No, we have to blame our own self. Take responsibility on our own self. You understand? Don't stop blame people that about Timothy break up the country and Timothy divide this. Timothy not divide nobody because you cannot go to God with it. So that's all I have to say. They must stop it.
All right, caller, thank you for your contribution to this program. It's 12:46. Let's take a short break to give a shout out to our sponsors, and when we come back, we'll be taking some more calls to hear from you, the good listeners of Win FM 98.9. We'll take this break, and we will be right back.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Horsford's Value Mart IGA is helping you spend less and save more. How, you ask? Essential Everyday and Equiline. Spend less on our Essential Everyday products and get the best quality, the best taste, and the best value. Spend less for all your family health and beauty needs with the Equiline brand of over-the-counter products. Horsford's Value Mart IGA is helping you spend less. With our Essential Everyday products and Equiline over-the-counter health and beauty care products. Shop smart and spend less at Value Mart, where price matters most.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are solely those of the participant or caller and do not reflect the views of WINN FM 98.9. WINNFM reserves the right to disconnect any caller who infringes the law or offends the right of any person. The station will also refuse to take any call from any person who, in WINNFM's considered opinion, is likely to expose the station to liability for statements made on the air. Welcome back to Voices here on WINNFM 98.9. Thank you so much for joining the program. It is 12:48. Of course, we end at 1:30. We're taking your calls. Of course, the discussion started earlier surrounding the portfolios that were assigned on Saturday to the different elected representatives of the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party, and some senators have been appointed. As one caller said, the elections are over, and so I guess these are just some closing thoughts and closing opinions from the different callers. Let's head back to the phone lines. We'll take this call. Caller, you are on the air. Good afternoon.
I am saying Timothy has divided the island. He has divided.
Wait, caller, you have to turn off your radio. There's a lot of feedback, okay?
Okay.
Yes, turn off the radio.
Some people are saying that he did not. Timothy divided the island. He had divided families. And because of certain things he has said, and when you have to think about what Timothy has done, that is what have divided the country, and that's why he is there where he is. Today he was thinking he would have been the Prime Minister for today. But let me tell you something, even on election night, the foul them at the roots and all was silent. And them and all were rejoicing in the morning. Foul and all were rejoicing, and everybody feel comfortable, because if you're in a house with your family and you start to undermine them, what you expect? What you expect and what you think that will take with you? Tim, you're gone, and you're gone no good. Okay, have a good day.
All right, caller, thank you for your contribution to this program. The phone lines are open. The calls are coming in 466-0989 or 7620989. People are giving their take on the recently concluded elections. Well, I don't want to say recently because that was since the 6th. But I think everything is now settling. The government has been officially sworn in. Portfolios have officially been assigned. And so the work begins today. And so people are just, as I said, giving their closing comments or their closing opinions on the elections and what they expect from the new government going forward. But as I've said, I think the expectation is really high for these new ministers. We have some more callers on the line, so we'll be taking these calls. Caller, you are on the air. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Devon.
Good afternoon. How are you doing?
How are you today?
I'm good, Thanksgiving. Thanks for life. And you?
Well, you're giving God thanks for life, health, and strength.
All right.
And for sanity. Because we need to be in our right mind, Now, I was hoping to hear the report on the election by the OECS and the CARICOM observers. The full report?
Well,
you have a copy of it?
They promised to provide one, so I don't think it has been provided as yet. But when they issued a statement on the 6th of August, right after the elections, with a preliminary statement, and they said they would come back shortly after, well, about a week or so after, to give a full analysis or a full report on the elections. But we have not seen it as yet, but they have promised one.
Yeah, cause that is, to me, is important, Because they declared free from free and fair.
They I don't want to say what they did not say, but in the press release that came out, they noted that things were, on the day of the election, everything, not everything, but for the most part, things were smooth. There were no attempts made by anybody to frustrate the people or trying to manipulate the electoral system. But I'll have to go over the press release just to be certain.
Because that is what I really want to hear. Because they, unlike before time, when they just came in for the day, some of them were here before. And they had interactions with the different political parties and other interested persons and the electoral office. So it would be nice to hear. Well, I heard them expressing their thing in that the concern, in that many of the recommendations that they have been making still have not been done.
Yes, and that was, I would say, a very vexing issue for them, because the OAS have sent a number of missions to St. Kitts and Nevis every time we have elections and so. And every time they come, they recommend that there needs to be some sort of electoral reform. But based on the situation, no effort has been made whatsoever to fix the issue. So we are hoping now, as I said last week, that this new administration would really take this issue very seriously. I mean, you can't have, as simple as some may want it to be, you have the issue where you have the counting process, the tabulation process that the OAS spoke about, where all of the boxes have to be transported to a central counting point, which is absolutely ridiculous. That is what slowed the process.
Do they really need a law? You have to make a law that it be done so.
I am not sure, but I don't think there's a law that says it that what they're doing should be done that way either.
I think with us low confusion, You know, you get the impression with low confusion because all the parties, some of them 3-4 times were in power when they had elections. And I think people they might just want to say they're not coming. It makes no sense you make a recommendation and none being done. And the issue with the list, I would like to know, because they were saying, many parties were saying they got it late.
Yeah, some parties did say that, because usually the way it is done, I think this is by law as well, where as soon as you're nominated as a candidate, each candidate duly nominated should be provided with a list. And there were some inconsistencies in that regard where candidates were not given lists as soon as they were issued.
There were cases where many of the things were outstanding. When you contest, what you call it now, when you challenge somebody's name.
Objection.
Some of them were not tried.
Objection.
Objections, and their names appear on the list. And nobody seemed to be discussing the impact of the overseas voters on the electoral result. So there need to be a comparison between the 2020 election results and the 2022. Because it was significant for some parties. Some parties, they say, had none. Because you then begin to ask yourself the question, who determines the government in St. Kitts and Nevis? Given the supposed part that the overseas voters play. You follow what I'm saying?
I am.
In 2020, there was none, right?
Overseas voters? No, they ain't had all that.
Huh?
No.
Right, so there should be an analysis between 2015, 2020, and 2022. So we will have an idea, because when I listen to some of the results, right? it was quite obvious that those were influenced by a large registration or apportioning, right? Because they registered. Apportioning of large numbers of overseas voters in specified or specific polling divisions and constituencies. Because sooner or later this is going to come up when Parliament comes up again. You remember they first brought a bill saying that you had to be resident for up to it was 6 months, right?
Yes, I do remember that, but I don't think anything much was
I
done
think
on
it had its first reading.
Yeah.
Because the issue of overseas voters has got to be addressed.
Do you support overseas voters?
Let me put it like this. Because it's not a yes or a no. Now, the law that as it exists, right? The law passed in 2007, somewhere around here, so says that if you did not vote for 2 consecutive elections, you couldn't vote. In terms of the resident, you had to be resident in a certain constituency or have claim to it, right? Have connection to it, whether your mother, your grandmother, whatever. Now it is obvious that I blame all the parties, because I know for sure, like in Barbados, each party go house to house, checking off the names on the list. Now that would give you an idea as to, because if nobody know you see what I'm talking about? You're supposed to go house to house in each constituency. You have the list, Sylvie Henry, whatever my neighbor name is. And then you find a lot of names that nobody know. You see what I'm talking about? But nobody bother with that. It's only after the election or on election day. You see one lot of playing. I for one, I don't support that.
So you don't support overseas voters? That's what you're saying?
I don't support the mass importation by political parties gratis for election. I say if you want to come, you pay away.
Oh, okay.
And the next question I have, right? You would have heard what in Dominica.
No, what's that?
Linton, the matter came up as to who sponsors these flights. And the matter, well, he said it wasn't he, but somebody who was fronting for him was recorded as making arrangement with somebody out there who wanted a passport. What do you call them? The pink one. Or ambassadorial position. We need to know, we need electoral financing, campaign financing. Laws. Everybody say yes and it is not being done. Because we need to know who to expect after election, New Year, or this investor. We need to know, well, how come? That go for all the parties, Because we might find that the locals are only just doing the addition. We only walking in and thinking, are the people out there influencing our election? Then it become a sham. If somebody say, well, you want 3 plane, 4 plane, you give me a passport, or ambassador, or consular. And after the election, I sponsor the shirts. I go for all of them. They must state in Barbados, other countries have electoral laws, We have to state who donate what above a certain amount,
All right.
So we're way behind. And all this thing I am saying, this election results depended heavily on the overseas voters.
All right. We have some other callers on the line, so I'll have to end this one with you and take some other callers, all right? Let's take this other caller. Caller, you're on the air. Hello, caller,
Hello? Yes, good day.
Yes.
A follow-up to something Miss Henry said about the financing of flights and stuff. But let me ask you, because you're a young guy, do you know of an organization called Friends of Labor?
No.
Okay. So in New York City, there's an organization called Friends of Labor, who all through the year, every year, do a lot of fundraising and stuff. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And that is where a lot of the flights gets funded. There are an organization in New York for PAM as well. Mm-hmm. One that I don't know if he's still the president of it. That Mr. Joe Mason was in charge of. So Sylvine don't know what she's talking about. She just talk out she mouth sometimes. You understand? So it is not just cut and dry as she think it is. You know? Anyway, congratulations to the Labour Party and all the candidates, and congratulations to the citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis who saw the travesty that was happening in the country and decide to rise up and protest and exercise their franchise.
All right.
All right?
All right, caller. Thank you so much for your contribution. Let's take this other caller. Okay, we seem to have lost that call. This is Voices right here on WINN-FM 98.9. It's 4 minutes past the hour. Let's take a break and we will be right back.
Found the sound 98.9.
Here are your Horseless Value Mart IG Value Club Glue Tax Specials from August 11th through 24th. Downy Fabric Softener, $23.99. Essential Everyday Chocolate Chip Cookies, $12.99. Sweet Baby Ray Barbecue Sauce, $9.99. La Yogurt, $2.99. Eggo Waffles, $13.99. Ajax Dish Detergent, $4.99. And now, our very low weekly value deals. Old Orchard 100% apple juice, $9.99. Bugles or Chex Mix, just $9.99. Peter Pan peanut butter, $10.99. Tropicana Punch juices, $7.99. Arm & Hammer deodorants, $8.99. Stone Ridge ice cream, $18.99. Shop smart, shop Value Mart. Sea listo y haga sus compras aquí a Value Mart.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are solely those of the participant or caller and do not reflect the views of WINN-FM 98.9. WINN-FM reserves the right to disconnect any caller who infringes the law or offends the right of any person. The station will also refuse to take any call from any person who in WINN-FM's considered opinion is likely to expose the station to liability for statements made on the air. Welcome back to Voices right here on WINN-FM 98.9. Let's head back to the phone lines. We'll take some more calls. Caller, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Yeah, good afternoon again, Mr. Cardinal. I'm smiling. You asked Sylvie a question. If she agrees with the overseas voters. My brother, let me tell you a little bit of history. Sylvine always agrees with the overseas voters. It's only become a problem because Labour mobiled. Because I remember very clearly when Bradshaw said 6 months you got to be in this country to vote. Sylvine Henry was one screaming that it was wrong. And when Kennedy Alphonse Simon, our first national hero, got in power in 1980, he said, man, come home, come vote. Wherever you be, come vote and go back. Sylvie never once said she disagreed. That is why she couldn't answer you straight when you asked the question about overseas voters.
All of a sudden, she no want to be concerned about the impact of overseas voters. Well, let you tell us what was the impact from 1980 to 1995. Simmons make the rules, my brother. Just said, and I agree with Bachelor then. 6 months. But if you change the rules out today, it become a problem. Because she interested in the overseas voter. Listen here, you know. But some weeks ago, the Prime Minister openly said, everybody come. You could come from under the big stone anywhere in the world. Just come and be a part of our country and be ready to vote. We heard about Haitian coming in with brand new passport. It was not a concern to this lady. But she concerned about our citizens and the impact of our citizens. My brother, election is over, but if you people talking foolishness, they're going to call in, you know. Because right must remain right all throughout. We cannot diddle-dally around the right. Because when Timothy said who out, stay out. But a year later, 2 years later, he's telling everybody come. But where's these people concerned? Timothy said to our people, but last election, everybody must come in. Doesn't matter you're from Jamaica, you're from Guyana, you're from wherever come. Well, nobody was concerned about them utterance. Sylvain, your party gets some licks. Your party got some licks. You know why? Because some of them like you, very dishonest. People are fed up of dishonesty. People want people to be upright, upfront, and forward. That's why Timothy lose. That's why Pam gets so much applause. Because I was very dishonest for the past 7 years. So whatever you're saying today, all of a sudden, you want to know quick about the Observer's report. Well, Cornelius, you could remember, I sent you a clip with Beverly Sinclair and Jerry George speaking about our election in 2020. The behavior of the government then to our people, but yet they were keeping all the functions. That wasn't something to look into. Where Labour was locked down, locked away, but Unity and Pam and all of them was over at the Marriott. They was allowed to keep everything. Well, we was lucky. That was not a concern, my brother. But today, Sylvain wants to be concerned about our citizens. Sylvain, your daughter lives in Barbados. She came back to work at Solid Waste. Were you concerned? Why she leave? We got to be honest, Sylvain. The dishonesty, my lady, it is over. Your party got a set of licks. Go with group. Go talk to Simmons. Go talk to Sean. John L. Powell and all of them. Because you keep coming with this kind of thing. It's not working, Sylvain. The people already speak. It means that we no longer need Tim. We no longer need Mark. We no longer need Sean. We give our country Sinkits and Nevis a government what we want. A government who we're going to be free to speak about. I could say what I wanted to say about Joe. But you could have never dare. And somehow you open your mouth about Timothy Harris. I could say what I want about Congress.
All right.
Because I keep saying my brother don't need the same thing. My brother, thank you. Next time she call back, ask who changed the rules of the overseas voters and why there wasn't inquiring then. God don't sleep. Have a good day.
All right, caller, thank you for your contribution to this program. We're still taking your calls. It's 11 minutes, past the hour of 1, and the phone lines are open. Let's head back to the phone lines. We have a caller. Caller, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Hey, good afternoon, Curtis. Now, please, when you're making your comments, leave my family out of it. Please, do yourself that favor. Now, we're running from reality, you know. People talking about who corrupt and who corrupt. God knows. God knows. The truth is that that party depends heavily on the overseas voter. I, for one, you could find it in WINNFM archives. I have been lobbying leading up to the 2015 election about campaign financing. And this overseas vote, I commented on it. because it boiled down to who get the most sponsors, who could find all the rich people in Dubai or wherever they find them to provide. This thing about the New York thing. New York, Joe was on Socrates show last week. Did you hear him?
Who's that, sorry?
They said New York, Joe, he's talking about.
Oh, I'm not sure.
He was on Socrates show. I think it was last week, either Monday or Wednesday. Remember, in America, there was a recession. People up there, a number of them still unemployed. Knocking dog and catching hell. So I don't know where they were going to find the money. Keep your ears open, Devon, to hear who will be the consulars and the ambassadors. We had a whole set. We never know who they were. Give Branch some credit. All kind of people became consular, and we didn't even know them. Some of them we had never even seen them. And the case in Dominica is a case, was a case where the man was recorded negotiating for an ambassadorial thing, for campaign financing for the party. This ain't a make-up. We have seen the number that comes in here. If all of them do it wrong, the overseas voters, some of them, to me, were registered illegally. People who never put their foot in the electoral office had electoral voters' IDs. How would they get them? There's a lot of things that go on and we just gloss over them. I have no party to defend. God put up and God take down. You all were up, shall not be moved, and you all serve 2 terms. You all went from 7 to 3 to 2. So when the boasting, God put up and God take. I wish the Prime Minister, what's his name again? No, Terrence Drew, the best. But he has a task on his hands with some people, and I keep saying it. I must give Curtis some credit with talking about the termination of people's services. I agree with him with you. But Curtis, you don't know me. You're repeating what you hear. Please. Where was I? I have never been. I don't go to PAM convention or nothing. I don't even go to meetings. I am not a maniac like some people. Because, you see, I keep myself free so I could speak. If PAM get the licking, they get the licking. They're going to sort it out. You all were down. You know, in 2004, only Mr. Richard was in the house. You know that, right? For PAM, you know that?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So PAM was down to 1 already. And they worked their way up. It's a cycle, just like our business is a cycle. Oh, I want you to tell me, what do you understand the position that Dr. Douglas has? And I'll tell you why. What is meant by economic activity?
Economic development?
Yes, what is meant by that? Because you have the one that, what's her name? The teacher.
Dr. Clark, she has sustainable development.
That's what I'm coming to. You know what is under sustainable development?
Tell me.
You have lands and the planning unit. You know, you have different divisions in the planning unit, and they're responsible for lands. Now you have skipper. When you talk about investment, can I see why? That's what had me thrown, eh? It is usually a skipper, eh? Even to the SIDF, they have to go to skipper. So where the economic activity comes in. And it would be better, before time, even on the labor, housing and lands were together. Now they separate them because some people wanted to control the distribution of the land. Now what it resulted in was that sometimes, in order for you to put down houses, you have to go to sustainable development to get the lands. And often that creates a problem.
So where is housing now?
That's what I ask in Congress.
I don't think so. Congress is public infrastructure.
But this is because some of them I didn't
Oh,
hear
maybe housing falls under public infrastructure, perhaps, yeah.
Because I am saying, you understand what I'm talking about, right?
Following you.
It does delay because sometimes the minister will tell you, look, I want to put on housing, but I don't have none and I have to wait on sustainable development. So I am saying the time is now right to put housing and land back together. I am making a suggestion, you know.
All right.
Because I was in the system. A lot of this split up of these ministries, to me, make some of them inefficient. Jeffrey should have had an entrepreneur. Why I say so? He got extensive training in it in Barbados and different countries and use. So you're going to get somebody got a business to make them an entrepreneur now, to teach others. We need, you understand what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm following you.
Yeah, you know? And agriculture. Agriculture is crops, livestock, fishing, and forestry. No mention was made of livestock. I don't know if you notice it.
What do you mean by that? If you're talking about agriculture, then you know agriculture covers all of that.
Agriculture is crops.
Right.
Livestock.
So there's no need to mention all that falls under
fishing. You
agriculture.
understand? They mention fishing and marine.
Yeah, because we know as it is, fisheries and marine resources, that is always mentioned. But there's no need for you to talk about livestock.
You're on the agriculture.
All
so
right.
I'm telling you.
Okay.
So somebody who listening, who know how it is usually done, right? May ask the question, so what about livestock? I wish all of them well, you know, because if the country does well, I would feel good.
All right.
I wish all of them well. And Mr. Curtis, you don't know anything about me. Stop calling up my name ridiculously. Go ask any...
All right, let's hit this other caller. Caller? Okay, we seem to have lost that call. It's 20 minutes past the hour of 1 here in the studios of WINNFM 98.9. Just about 10 minutes left before we wrap up the program for today. We'll be taking some more calls and then we'll end the program shortly. Let's take this caller. Caller, good afternoon. You are on the air.
Greetings forwardly. Let me get the registry. We didn't want to miss a word. We don't want to give you no feedback. All right. First thing we're going to say is, Mr. Cook, leave off from the family. Family, don't take him on. If you are speaking truth, if you are convinced that you're speaking truth to the people, speak your truth without any kind of whatever. We are free, man, you know, remember that. While we are listening to the reasoning about the overseas voters, etc., we want to say this. We have all kind of people in our midst who are not born here, so, from other. Jamaica, a couple years ago, a Jamaica person reached the airport, you know. We used to got to go to the bench to rescue them. When they reach the airport, they lock them up, you know. They either turn them back or bring them to a police station, you know. This thing is done. I mean, just leave a King Street and make sure them are right, whether them are Rasta or not. Yeah, the same person, you know. Them there, we have Guyanese, we have here people from here to give thanks. You know, welcome. Yeah, here too. Yeah, man. Give thanks. We have people from Santo Domingo, Spanish-speaking people. Now, before me say what me going to say, you know, me want to say that me get a song say that my beloved mother, Gladys Frederica Freeman, they say she born in Santo Domingo because of some movements that used to go on. So, me say that to say this, you know. You see the people them amongst we, that is from Santo Domingo, them Spanish people, speaking people there. We have to keep the third eye on them. You have people come from all over the place. You have all the places them that are called, you have good people and you have bad people in them places. You see, The same thing with Santo Domingo too. You have good people and you have bad people. But it look like when we pre the thing, because we are pre them, we have all them people, we have the neighbors, we are pre them. And it look like few of the good people from that place is here. And most who is here is different elements, the otherwise. I find that is not so with the Jamaican community, with the Guyanese community, etc., etc. I find it so with the Spanish-speaking community. And I want to share this with the people of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. I will say no more on that for now. You see the land issue, we want to remind all and sundry, that the land belongs to nobody. We belongs to the land. That's the law of creation. Babylon not in a lie, Babylon not soon. Sure. So, and if it belongs to somebody, it belongs to everybody. You see this landlessness, you see, as me talk to your boy, just come and fly right in my lap in my virgin. As me speak, right in my lap, because I'm not sure there is something. And you see this landlessness, this kind of the way. You still on line? Here. Here, Virgin.
All right, caller.
No, man, done, man. Lord, you for communicate, ask if it's still on the line.
Yeah, I'm listening to you. Go ahead. Yeah.
Good. The boy still there, you see this kind of way these people in this Westminster style politics, some of them got the people them on a kind of white male concerning land and houses for your born, We don't say now that everybody who born get a piece of land right away from your birth, They say it's impossible. But the land all about. Hey, me travel hills and valleys, Me move like there's a cat. Land all about. They not cover the land, we cover the land. There. We don't say that. So you see, concerning houses and farm and, hey man, the budget therefore high. Make sure everyone shit. Talking about that, you see the street people them, me want to say it now, me gonna approach with me concern, The street people them for have a place where they can go in at night time. We know the ways, we know the fear put people to deal with that. I even volunteering myself to be part of it. They need to go bath, change of clothing, them food alright, they don't get food. They're not hungry. So then they eat out the garbage pan, we stop them from doing that. I don't say how to do that. We need to know so that everybody is somebody and live like that in this federation, yeah. We cannot afford to make Westminster style politics which is not ours, which came from them who enslave us and see us as human cargo. The atrocities is unimaginable.
All right.
We are the black survivors. We cannot be no fool in our story, or the part of the black story. The majority of people here in the Federation are African people.
All right, we'll call it. Thank you. We're going to take some more calls, all right? So wrap it up quickly.
Our ancestors are we. Are we still online? Give time to the time. Are we still online? Or you cut me off?
All right, caller, thank you for your contribution to this program. We'll take one last call and we wrap up the program for today. Let's take this final call. The caller, you're on the air.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. One thing we have to remember in the assignment of portfolios, the incoming government does not have to bind itself to the portfolios selected by the outgoing one.
Right.
Right? They have a right to select the portfolios they choose. And I'm sure there are lots of consideration that goes into them, including priorities and those kinds of things. Okay? It's also important to note that whereas all the portfolios should, in fact, represent some government department, the portfolios don't have to, the relevant government department does not have to be named in the portfolios, right? So you might find lots of government departments exist. That does not mean that you should have a long list of portfolios assigned to the ministers.
You know, I was just having this conversation with my colleagues where, for example, we had on social media where people were asking about sports, entertainment, and culture.
Right.
That would fall under creative economy. I would say, though, it should have been explained, but you don't have to have a minister with a long portfolio, minister of this and all over the place. You would know that sports fall under creative economy.
Right, right. And not only that, it's probably a good idea. I don't know if it was deliberate or not, but it's probably a good idea, for instance, not to specifically name a minister in charge of housing, right? There are departments in charge of housing. Everybody knows the National Housing Corporation, for instance, looks after that, okay? And it hopefully it reduces this thing where most people flock to a particular government minister in order to get a house or land or something like that, okay? There are relevant departments as long as the departments are run properly. They don't need, the people don't need to access those services via a minister, right? You go to the relevant department to process your application. That is how it should be. And there should be a minister in charge of it, obviously, okay? But they come in terms of getting the right housing policies, getting the financial needs that are necessary to build houses, you know, those kinds of big-ticket things, and leave the day-to-day micromanagement to the people in charge of these corporations. I think that makes for more efficient use of the minister's time and energy. Okay, so as it is, like I said, I don't know if it was deliberate, but that's certainly one of the outcomes of it. People wonder who is the minister of this and that. Okay, in the fire analysis, the relevant government department will have oversight by which particular minister or ministry it's in, and that minister and ministry is accountable for what goes on in that department. Okay?
All right. Thank you so much for your contribution. It is 11:31. We'll not wrap up the program for today. Again, thank you so much for your contribution to this program. Those of you who called and those of you who were participating via social media, the different social media platforms, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. It's again the beginning of a week, and I trust that you guys were able to get the tasks that you were assigned today, or the things that you wanted to do today, completed. So again, thank you so much for joining the program, and do enjoy the rest of your Monday and of course the rest of your week. Have a productive and fruitful one. Take care.
WINN is 98.9. 98.